And it looks like the action's about to get underway. Has the mysterious man decided on a name yet?
Oh, Tyler the Creator.
All right, we have Tyler the Creator in the booth today with us for an undisclosed amount of time, and taking the face-off here will be Maggie Murphy for the Cougars and someone I don't know for the Ranney Panthers. Unfortunately, Ranney was not kind enough to give me a number with, or a roster with numbers on it, so the roster would just be a list of names I could not use. Any coaches, if you are listening to this, please fill out the NJ.com rosters with numbers. It's very helpful for me and for other broadcasters and for other coaches as well. So please, any coaches, if you're listening, just fill out your NJ.com rosters with numbers and like a full roster and accurate numbers too. As the rain's picking up a bit here. Luckily, we have the official MKA TV umbrella down below us. You may remember the MKA TV umbrella for being used last time to block out the sun. But the sun has gone away, and now the rain is definitely picking up as Maggie Murphy runs back on the field for hopefully the start this time. Some sort of siren behind me. Hopefully you cannot hear that. Play is live. Ball is up and back down and whistle blown. Taken now by Ranney. Ranney now running it around. Wonder if conditions... There goes Tyler the Creator, unfortunately. Camped now by MKA, just out of the reach of Brace's trail, now collected by goalie Ella Freeman. Freeman now running around, trying to evade some Ranney defense, doing so successfully. Passing it off quickly to, I believe that is Shea Murphy. Shea Murphy here. Passing it off to, I have my roster in my pocket, I believe that is Olivia Davis. I would be correct. Sophomore, passing it off now. Right in front, just out of the reach of Bika McNeil from BB Squarzo, and that's going to go out of bounds. I believe that will be MKA possession. Nope, it's going to be Ranney possession, I think. It will be Ranney possession. All right. Ranney now running it up. Driving down the right side. Addie Goldstein putting some excellent pressure there, passing it off to the goalie. Goalie passed it off. Quick pass dropped. Scramble picked up by MKA. However, there is a whistle on the play after Peyton Sullivan recollects, and Ranney will regain possession here. Ranney, good defensive interference there from MKA. Goldstein passed it off to Sullivan. Sullivan shoots just wide here. Wonder if the conditions have anything to do with performance. I mean, I know if I was running around, I would run a lot slower, a lot more carefully in the rain, especially in a sport that requires a lot of visibility, which I am losing, and hopefully our equipment doesn't die in this in these showers. I know that these players got to be a bit more careful than usual. As Ranney manages to lose it off some great defensive pressure there by Addie Goldstein, but unfortunately she eventually does lose it and picked back up by Ranney. Ranney, goalie, long ball is, or short ball turns into a long ball, pass is errant, and that's going to be MK possession from the outside there. Taken up now by Shea Murphy, passing it off to Peyton Sullivan. The rain is increasing in intensity. Back to Murphy on the outside. Back to Sullivan. Drives in for McNeil. Just out of reach there. Recollected by MKA. That would be Caroline Caneo. And Caneo, or CC as I've heard her called. I'm not going to do that. Sullivan drives in. Goal! Goal MKA! I think it would be a goal. In fact, Peyton Sullivan just capitalizing on an opportunity, managing to drive in at just the right moment, making it 1-0 MKA. Visibility, it seems like a slower game than I'm used to seeing played. I think conditions have everything to do with that. It's raining up here, it's raining down there, it's raining everywhere. It's just wet. The turf is probably damp. Not ideal conditions, but these players are persevering through, and we here at MKA TV are persevering through. Julian's putting on his sunglasses. It's kind of the opposite of the point. But whatever, as I believe that is Shea Murphy lining up to take the face-off. I would be correct. Another whistle off the face-off. Time did not start, and MKA get possession now. Shea Murphy driving down the center. Murphy passes off to Sullivan. Sullivan still looking, driving down the right here. Finds BB Squarzo. Open, low shot, goal MKA! 2-0. within the span of 6 seconds. MKA, doesn't matter the conditions, they will perform. 2-0 off of the excellent low shot there by BB Squarzo. And my backpack is getting overloaded with rain, and so is the equipment, but whatever. MKA will persevere on, and so will MKTV, but we're not the important ones here. They out there are. Now, Maggie Murphy lining up to take the face-off, as I'm going to put my hood up. Sorry, Julian, that you don't have any rain gear. How are you feeling about this?
Just fine. It's wonderful weather.
Thank you, sir. Ball is up. Anyone's game. Still a scramble for it. Looking. Ranney eventually do come down with it, but MKA going to play some stern defense here. Caneo now on the ball. Caneo on number 4 for Ranney, who currently has possession. Number 4 just waiting around, setting up the siege, as Alex calls it. Nope, tries to take it in herself. Grace Fitzgerald, Olivia Davis, and Caroline Caneo managed to combine to force her back out. Now a one-on-one with Grace Fitzgerald. Ranney now trying to find an open cutter, can't. Cougar defense absolutely shutting them down. 4 still trying to drive in. Finally passes it off in an unfamiliar situation, and Ella Freeman easily makes the save. Fortunately, bad pass there from Ella, just over the head of Caroline Caneo, and back with Ranney, the ball goes. MKA trying to find an offensive weakness to exploit. Whistle is blown, and I believe that will be a penalty shot for something. I didn't see too much contact there. Of course, it is raining, so what do I know? Driving in there, Ranney, good defensive play there by Olivia Davis to get that off. Debbie Giddens can't quite make the catch, as Ranney will get it back. Debbie Giddens again trying to make some defensive plays. Another defensive play by Debbie, but unfortunately Ranney will recover once again. Ranney now setting up the siege once more. Number 4 seems to be the orchestrator of this offense, as that was a bit of a rough push there by BB Squarzo, and I believe it will be a penalty shot. Or like the free kick equivalent, I guess. I'm not quite sure. Either way, play is restarted now. And Ranney's still just passing it around, looking for an offensive opportunity. They haven't had a lot of those. They've had a lot of offensive possession, but opportunities have been slim to none. There is a difference. Another thing there, not quite sure what happened. Rain kind of obscured my view, but MK now possession. Squarzo passes back to goalie Freeman. Freeman ranging around the net, waiting for her opportunity, passing it off there to Olivia Davis on the left. Olivia still driving down the left flank. Quick pass off. Now throwing it up. BB Squarzo looking for a second. Goal, MKA! Another bouncing low shot to increase the Cougars' lead to 3. 3-0. You could ABC 1, 2, 3. You and me, Julian. We are getting excited for this game.
Indeed, we are, Ian.
That was another excellent goal by the Cougars, up early so far, and I believe that this game looks to be slightly one-sided. Of course, I don't want to curse it, as commentators can do, but just based on some analysis of this commentator here, MKA is off to an early lead, and they look to have control of this game. Indisputable fact. Shea Murphy on the faceoff. Ball is up. Goes right to MKA. BB Squarzo manages to field it. Now ranging around her the right. Passing it into the center to Shea Murphy. Murphy fakes left, fakes right, fakes left again. Under a lot of pressure, drives in, finds a lane, shoots. Goal, MKA! Another one within like 10 seconds. These goals seem to be coming in spurts. 4-0 MKA. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 'em up. That's 4 on the board for your Cougars. I'm getting the look that's saying I should stop doing that. I'll think about it, Julian. Uh-oh. That's a bit unfortunate. I don't think that's supposed to get wet. But it's probably fine, as long as you can still hear me. Maggie Murphy now on the face-off after the MKA goal. Ball is up, another whistle is blown, and the ref clearly didn't like that. Not sure who's going to get possession or if they're going to redo it. Guess they're going to redo it. Rain appears to be... Nope, not saying anything. Commentators cursing all that, especially with this rain. Ball is up, taken easily by Bibi Squarzo, caught out of the air. Bibi now running down center lane. Squarzo looking for a pass here. Squarzo pacing around. Pass it off to Murphy. That would be Maggie, I believe. Cougars, yells the bench, as Shea Murphy passes it to Bibi Squarzo. Squarzo already has, I believe, 2 in the game. Passing it down now to Shea Murphy. Murphy fakes a pass to Squarzo, who's driving in. Gets a pass off to Maggie Murphy. Can't quite get it. Takes it herself. Maggie Murphy, top corner goal, MKA! 3 in 30 seconds. 5-0. This has been a one-sided show of offense. There's probably a song reference I can make here, but I don't want to do those anymore, otherwise I think Julian might actually cut me off. But excellence here from the Cougars, taking control of this game from the onset, making it 5-0 with about half gone in this quarter. And as I believe Ranney will take a timeout here, so will we. After the timeout, a reminder, just because, even though you can look at the score, but a reminder because I want to say it again, your MKA Cougars 5, the Ranney Panthers 0 in this quarterfinal round of the prep tournament. Maggie Murphy lines up to take the face-off here after the 5th goal. Ball is up, bouncing affair. Trying to be collected by Addie Goldstein, still trying. Finally collected there on the left. Addy now driving in. Goldstein looking behind the net here. Passes around to Peyton Sullivan. Sullivan now looking out right. Finds Caneo now to Murphy. Murphy to Squarzo. Squarzo out left on the floor there. I believe that would be Kira Brannigan. Brannigan passing it off to Goldstein. Goldstein to Sullivan behind the net. About mostly to her right. Now running around the left in front. Can't find the lane. Pass out in front. Addie Goldstein shot. Is that in? I believe that's in. Goal, MKA, I guess. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think that was a rattler off the post, as I sometimes call them, but that was an impressive goal. I didn't even know that went in. Julian, did you think that went in?
I did not think that went in.
Neither did I, but the ref saw clearly. I mean, he can see clearly, but the rain is still here. That's the last one, Julian, I promise. MKA now lead 6-0. MKA is just, I don't know what changed since last game. Maybe kind of a revenge tour thing, where they just want to smoke everyone they play now as Shea Murphy lines up for the face-off, but they're on a 3-game losing streak. And they're playing excellently so far. Shades of their previous teams of yore. I say yore like it wasn't last year, where they won. They've won back-to-back Prep B championships here. As Ranney take it up the field here. Number 4 again orchestrating. The rain appears to have stopped a bit, or at least died down. Just mist and fog. If you've ever played Silent Hill, you know that you should not like fog. Number 4 still battling against Caroline Caneo there. Coming in on the help defense is Julia Flacco. 4 still keeping it herself, running into pretty much the entire Cougar defense and drawing some sort of thing. Drawing the equivalent of a free kick here. A long-range penalty shot instead of a short-range one. Do I understand? Not really. Do I know what I'm seeing? Yes. 4 drives in. No, she doesn't. Still ranging around the outside here. We're still ranging around the outside, trying to drive in on Caroline Caneo. Gets pushed over, loses the ball, and I believe that's going to be a real penalty shot there. And I would be correct for number 4 against Ella Freeman. 1-on-1 against the goal. Are we going to get a dramatic zoom in? Yes, sir, we are. Bit crunch it. 4 lining up. Waits for the whistle. Drives in, long shot. That is in, just out of reach of Ella Freeman's stick. She was just a second too slow to make it 6-1 MKA. MKA is still obviously in the lead. Unfortunately, that lead is lessened by just a little bit. Nothing to worry themselves about. Penalty shots are notoriously difficult to save. And, by the way, this is something I was talking about earlier in one of my classes. We got to give props where they're due to these girls lacrosse players coming out there playing a decently, a fast-paced, decently high-contact sport in nothing to protect them but some clothes and a visor, no pads. And as Alex always loves to point out, the goalies wear sweatpants. And that is a hard rubber ball there. Ball is up. Still being battled for. MKA take possession now with Shea Murphy here, controlling it down the right side hash. Now into the center to BB Squarzo. Squarzo flips it over to Murphy. That's Maggie. Caneo to Goldstein, back behind to, I'm not quite sure. Brannigan back to Shea Murphy. Fumbles it. MKA regains possession. Brannigan drives in, and that's going to be a stoppage in play, and I believe a penalty shot for Kira Brannigan. I would be correct. Penalty shot here for Brannigan. Waiting for the whistle with bated breath, as are we. Brannigan now drives in. Gets fouled again on the penalty shot, and I believe that's going to be another penalty shot for Kira Brannigan. I would, in fact, be correct. We wait once again with bated breath. Julian appears to be praying.
Yet another penalty shot.
Long shot, quick pass off to Squarzo. Goal, MKA! Going 5-hole for the 7th goal. Give that one on the board. That's 7-1 MKA. Julian, that wasn't a song reference. Don't look at me like that. 5-hole is an actual term. It's a hockey term. I've used it many times in my lacrosse broadcasts. There's a lot of overlap between hockey and lacrosse, especially in players. The mist does not die down, but the goals just keep on coming. As MKA, again, kind of pulling away with it here. About 2 minutes left to go in the period. This could be a final score. Getting subbed off here would be big cheer for the subs. Not sure what's going on. Coming in now, Helen Clothier, the senior. Seniors don't have to be here at school, by the way, May term, but Helen showed up for the game, and she's getting played. So obviously a big moment for her as her lacrosse tenure comes to an end as BB Squarzo takes it along the right hash of MKA. Squarzo passes it to Clothier. Back behind to Brannigan. Brannigan to that is Grace Masella, I believe. Yes. Masella to Goldstein. Goldstein switching places with Grace now behind the net. Goldstein still looking for a pass open. Finds one inside to Masella. Shot. Goal, MKA! Grace Masella! I believe that's her first of the season. And that's going to make it 8-1 MKA. Grace Masella. Big moment for her, obviously, scoring her first goal of the season. According to my stats here, I believe that's her first goal of varsity lacrosse. I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but if this is a moment, congratulations, Grace. What an accomplishment. Murphy lines up for the face-off. Ball is up, and originally taken by Ranney. Good defense there by BB Squarzo. Taken by MKA. That would be Maggie Murphy on the ball here. Murphy looks around. Finds Kane on the center. Passes it off the stick of Kira Brannigan. Recollects. Brannigan now back to Masella. Masella lobs it up to Helen Clothier. Shot. Quick goal there by Maggie Murphy to make it 9-1 MKA. Quick shot, quick release. Barely even saw that one arrive in Maggie Murphy's stick, let alone get in the goal. 9-1. There's absolutely a joke I can make here, but Julian looks like he might kill me if I do that. So 9-1 after one. 911, what's your emergency? MKA just keeps scoring. I did it. Murphy once again on the face-off here after her goal. Ball is up. Now taken by Squarzo. Squarzo driving down the center here. Okay, looking to increase their lead, although this kind of does look like a final score of some lacrosse games. Pass it off to Biko McNeil. McNeil now gives it to Masella. Masella back to Brannigan. Brannigan over to Zoe Leitner, who drops it there, but it collects. Pass it off now. Fear to Squarzo. Squarzo to Masella. Masella, quick pass off. Good catch there by Maggie Murphy. Murphy back to Squarzo. Squarzo finds Murphy. Murphy over to Leitner. Sorry, Leitner passes it off to McNeil. Biko McNeil to Brannigan. Brannigan to Alan Clothier. Clothier, I believe, if I'm saying that wrong, please correct me, to Brannigan. Brannigan ranging around behind the net over on her left side and passes it really off to the left with Murphy. Murphy to Squarzo, who takes it back inside. That pass is deflected. Time runs out. MKA currently win 9-1 after 1. I already made the joke. Don't worry, Julian. And as this quarter comes to an end, MKA definitely look to have this in hand, and we will see you when the action restarts. And welcome back to the action here. MKA currently leading 9-1 as we start up the second quarter here of action. My name still being Ian Shatner and Julian Matthews' name still being Julian Matthew, unless something changed.
Nothing has changed yet.
All right. It's still raining as Maggie Murphy, tries to collect the face-off. Does MKA starting this off with possession. Murphy to BB Squarzo. Squarzo to Big McNeil. McNeil looking around here, back to Squarzo. Squarzo to Murphy. Murphy down to Grace Masella. Masella to Zoe Leitner. Leitner to Kiera Brannigan. Brannigan to Helen Clothier. Clothier to Squarzo. Squarzo, this is pass off to McNeil. Shot goes in, I think. Goal, MKA! 10-1. I wasn't sure that went in. Julian wasn't sure that went in. I don't think the crowd was sure if that went in. But now we know for sure that it did. MKA now lead 10-1 after less than a minute. MKA starting this quarter off the same way that the the first quarter just ended. It's just more scoring. Now, Murphy getting ready to take the face-off here. Ball is up. Murphy bats at it. Can't quite get it. Ranney finally get a possession, but MKA immediately right on him, playing some excellent defense. Ranney now driving down the center line. Kicks out left. Whistle blown. Another whistle blown. Guess the ref didn't like it the first time and really didn't like it the second time. I believe it's going to be a penalty shot. Yes, it will be. Number 4 again versus Ella Freeman. Everyone waits with bated breath for the whistle. Drive in, long shot is off. Was that a save? Was that a miss? I believe that was a save. Good save then by Ella Freeman. Taken now by Ranney from behind the net. I don't know why the timer's still running when they're digging it out of the back there. But Ranney now taking it back. Number 4, the orchestrator, getting it right back again. That looked like a bit of a dive to me. I believe that's going to be a penalty for MKA. I guess the dive was successful, as the mist definitely seems to be moving into the area. The fog is coming. But that will only disrupt our view. Hopefully it won't disrupt yours, as we have a long penalty shot here from the second red line instead of the first. 4 opts to not pass it off or take a shot, just gets ran back here by the Cougar defense. Getting pressed out immediately, dropped past there by number 24. Debbigans immediately on defense, swatting at her, and that's going to be another penalty shot, I guess. Maybe? Not quite sure what's going on. Don't think the players know what's going on. All right, restart of possession. Ranney still with the ball. Time is continuing to tick down. It's cold and wet here at Van Brunt Field. As Julian said, nothing has changed. Ranney still driving in, gets taken down there. That's going to be a penalty shot, probably. A long penalty shot, second red line, not the first. Unfortunately, Julian, there is no reason for a dramatic zoom in. You can't see, but he looks incredibly disappointed. Ranney passing it off back to number 4. This orchestrator appears to be conducting a bit of a discordant symphony here, as they only manage 1 against the Cougars' 10. BB Squarzo in lockstep with number 4 here, managing to drive her out. Not the most pleasant day for a lacrosse game. That will definitely affect playing, but it could be worse. Could always be worse. Game that could be canceled, and then no one would get what they want. They wouldn't get to play, we wouldn't get to talk. Ranney gets right in front of the net, but 2 MKA defenders are right there to stop number 1 there. Pass defended there successfully, but the ref's going to call that too much contact, and there's going to be a restart of play here. from about the 20-yard line on the left hash. One continues to drive in, faced off by Olivia Davis and Debbie Giddens. Absolutely just hounding her there, just trying to get the ball out. Giddens does. Debbie still fighting for it, manages to knock her opponent over in the process as number 4 knocks Debbie over in the process, and that's going to be a foul on them. So the mist is definitely driving. I've never heard the term driving mist before, but that's like the best way I can think of what's going on here. Giddens now with possession here, deep in the Cougar zone on the left side. Giddens makes a pass, loses the ball though. Ranney and Debbie still trying to get it. Ranney does pick it up now. Ranney kind of refuting the point I made about the few offensive possessions. They've had definitely a sustained one here. Whistle blown. Shot. No, it will not be. Number 4 is taking it from back behind. Rounding around the left side here. Olivia Davis playing some excellent defense, not letting her get an inch. 4 against 4, switches off now. Long shot, errant. Some teammates had to duck out of the way, though, to make sure they didn't touch that. As Ranney will retain possession, because Lacrosse. Ranney now, running it up. Being defended there by Grace Fitzgerald. Ranney battling. Number 1 looking for an opportunity. Pass broken up there by Fitzgerald, but regained there by Ranney. Number 21 on the ball here. Ranney still being driven against. Takedown there. 3 men down. 3 women down, I should say. As Olivia Davis forces number 1 on Ranney down. Grace Fitzgerald goes down as a consequence, and I believe it's going to be a penalty shot. An actual penalty shot. Thank you, Julian. 1-on-1. Good save there! Actually, I'm not sure if that was a save or a defensive breakup, but either way, ball's not in the net, and that's priority. Ball now with Ella Freeman. Been a relatively quiet quarter since the early MKA goal. Some opportunities for Ranney, but nothing more. Clear passing it off there to Caneo. They'll see pass it off. Fumbled there by, I believe that's Brooke Becker. And that's going to be out of bounds on Brooke. Ranney will regain possession here. Ranney now passing around their own defensive zone. Pass it off to the goalie, looking for a long pass or a short pass or any pass. Open pass there to number 32 there in the center. Ranney passing it around the midfield here, back to number 4. Orchestrator looking to orchestrate. Ranney running in, guarded by Clothier here. Cheers from the bench for Helen, as deserved. Now Caneo on the ball. Double team now with Grace Fitzgerald forcing her out. Fitzgerald still forcing her out. Number 4 being absolutely smothered by defenders. Fitzgerald and Caneo just sticking with her, making sure she doesn't get an inch closer to the MKA goal. Fitzgerald, Caneo still on her, forces her down, and that's going to be a penalty shot. Bit too overzealous there. Thank you, Julian. I would have to guess here that number 4 on Ranney would be Kennedy Poser, the junior, currently leading the team with 56 points as that shot bounces off the woodwork. Recollected, however, by Ranney at around the 30-yard line now at about the 15, right next to the right hash mark. That's number 1 on Ranney here. Running around now, back now behind the net here. Ranney looking to close the lead just a tiny bit. stop the bleeding, one might say. 31 drives in for Ranney, passes it back out to 4. Number 4 guarded by Grace Fitzgerald and Caroline Caneo once again. Long ball, I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot, but caught back behind the net by Ranney. Long ball again is errant, looking for someone right in front of the net, but Ranney does again manage to reconnect. Helen Clothier on the defense here. Ranney now running it around, oscillating in from the left side. Number 4 slowing down the pace once again. Finds an open cutter in the center. Kind of desperation shot there, easily saved by Ella Freeman with about minute 30 left to go in the half. Second quarter has been kind of a tale of two cities, a tale of two stories, a tale of two quarters. First quarter, open, explosive, full of scoring from MKA, and a 1 goal by Ranney. Okay, this quarter, 1 goal scored throughout the entire 11 minutes right now. Ella Freeman still holding onto the ball under pressure, goes out right. Ella Freeman still waiting. Long ball looking for someone, can't find anyone. Recollected now by Ranney with about a minute left to go. Ranney, you're trying to rush it up here. Again, a minute is not a lot of time, especially in sports. I mean, I guess in sports it's all the time in the world you need if you're trying to hit a buzzer beater, but you're down 10-1 here. Can't score 9 goals in 40 seconds. Term. Top of the crease, I suppose. Still driving in, gets around. Good play there by Olivia Davis to get it out. Now taken by MKA. Roughed up there is Hannah Blackburn. Blackburn now passes it off to Luthier. Luthier down the right, gives it off to Caneo. Caroline Caneo with about 10 seconds left here. Caneo, quick pass off to Leitner. Leitner gives it quickly. Driving in now, Brooke Becker. Becker with about 1 second left. Quick shot cannot be gotten off, and that will take us to halftime. Your MKA Cougars, after scoring 1 goal, are now up 10-1 instead of 9-1, and we will see you after the break. And welcome back to this girls lacrosse game. Your MKA Cougars currently up 10-1 after halftime. My name is Ian Tratner, joined here by
Julian Matthew.
where it is cold, rainy, and wet here at Van Brunt Field, but your Cougars are persevering through on their way to what might be a dominant win. I say might be for a reason. The iPad is wet. That's probably not a good sign. But it should be fine as long as we're still broadcasting. Hellos from the crowd to someone on the field. Not sure who they're directed at. But Shea Murphy here lining up to, I believe that's Maggie Murphy lining up to take the face off. I just took a quick glance. First time. That is Maggie Murphy trying to bat it down here, trying to be collected now by BB Squarzo. Squarzo makes a defensive play. Too much contact for the ref's liking. I believe Ranney will take it now. Yes, they will. Number 4 has been orchestrating this offense to admittedly a not great and admittedly underwhelming symphony. Another shot gone awry. As MKA currently have a dominant lead on this cold day. Ella Freeman leaving the ball there for Grace Fitzgerald to take. Fitzgerald, scoop pass to Ella Freeman, the goalie. Freeman finds Olivia Davis there on the wing. Davis now. Low pass, BB Squarza looking for it around her. Manages to be recollected by Ranney. Ranney now. Pass in is incomplete. Davis takes it back to Freeman. Noah Freeman goalie looking around, ranging around her goal. Quick pass off to Deddy Giddens, the senior. Pass deflected there, collected almost by Julia Flacco, but can't quite get it firmly. Finally collects officially, and now off to the races. The MKA offense goes now with Caroline Caneo. Caneo to Murphy. Murphy still hanging on to it. Maggie passing it over to Shea. Shea barely able to make the catch, but manages to behind the net on the left. Now up the left. Murphy to Murphy. Back. Shot. Goal, MKA! The Murphy to Murphy connection strikes once again to make it 11-1 within the first 2 minutes. The entire setup is soaked, but there's ones across the board, so everything's okay. I don't know why time is still running. It shouldn't be. Are they like bleeding out time because it's like too far gone? Who knows? But time should definitely not still be running right now. Oh, running clock? Yeah. That's what I guessed, so. I suppose Julian's going to have to get on that. Thank you, sir. There we go. Guess we don't have to worry about clock ever again. MKA gets possession off the face-off. BB Squarzo driving in down the right-hand lane. Quick pass off to Peyton Sullivan there. Peyton Sullivan looking around. Sullivan parallel to the net over on the right. Sullivan, quick pass into Squarzo. Shot. Low shot is just off. MKA getting a lot of defensive presence here. Or offensive presence, I should say. Ranney with not a lot of defensive presence, as the rain is not willing to budge. Unfortunately, it's coming in just the direction of our setup. Sorry if you can see my hand waving as I gesture, trying to figure out where the rain is hitting. But I just want to make sure my equipment stays safe as Ranney takes it with their goalie. Long pass is awry, out of bounds after Ranney. After the pass, Ranney's goalie not quite finding any luck today, obviously giving up 11 goals, and now the errant pass. That's the wrong MKA roster. Shot there, in goal, MKA! Caroline Caneo takes it in herself for the 12th goal of the game. MKA up in a dominant fashion after about 2 1/3. 12-1. Maggie Murphy on the draw here. If he throws it up, easy catch there by B. Squarzo, as we've seen many times this game. In quick to Peyton Sullivan, wide open, goal MKA! Peyton Sullivan on the run, catch and shoot, as they say in basketball, to make it 13-1 very, very quickly. They still have not stopped the clock. I don't think they're ever going to stop the clock, so I think that just makes it easier. Cheers for Ella Freeman as she gets pulled. The game is that far out of hand as Bianca Scalzo comes in goal here. Great moment that Julian should probably be showing. Get on that, man. Bianca Scalzo will now be in net for the forthcoming future as we hit about the halfway point of the quarter. MK up by 12. A reminder, just in case you need one, this MKA team is coming off of a as BB Squarzo takes it off the face-off. This MKA squad is coming off a 15-9 loss against Kent Place. So this score currently would not look out of place on a final score. However, this MKA team looks to be looking for more as Sullivan now drives it around back behind to Addie Goldstein. Goldstein to Brannigan. Kiara Brannigan playing it up there to, that's still the wrong roster. Murphy to Caneo. Quick pass off to Sullivan. Sullivan back behind to Goldstein. Seen fakes left from behind the net. Runs around, dropped pass there by BB Squarzo, unfortunately. Long ball in to Murphy. Murphy to Shea Murphy. Long ball there to Peyton Sullivan. Sullivan back to Murphy. Murphy centers to Maggie Murphy. Now to Squarzo. BB Squarzo rushing around now with Shea Murphy to Maggie Murphy. Might just use their first names from now on. Caneo. Goldstein back behind the net to Brannigan. Kiera Brannigan. Back to Goldstein out left. Up now to Maggie. Now with Peyton Sullivan. Sullivan back to Murphy. Back behind now. Goldstein. Brannigan over to Caneo. Caneo to Shea. Shea passes it off to BB. Squarzo. Back to Shea. Now to Squarzo. Ranging around the right. Driving in, not quite. Kiera Brannigan running in, spins out. Keeping possession, being guarded closely. Back to Murphy. Shea Murphy now looking for a pass. Finds one to, I believe that is Squarzo into the center. Caroline Caneo didn't quite like that look, I suppose. That's going to be reset now with Addie Goldstein. Goldstein passes it back to Squarzo. About 3:40 left to go in this period. Passing it into a cutting. Kiera Brannigan shoots. Goal, MKA! The senior does it one more time. Kiera Brannigan scores it to make it 14-1 MKA. And to say that they are running away with this game would be an absolute understatement. Started from the beginning, never looked back. What a moment for the senior. Right after she goes away from school to work on May term, she scores one. That right there that's just a moment. believe that's Biko McNeil now taking the face-off. New face. No pun intended. Please, Julian. No pun intended. I didn't mean it. McNeil now. Waiting for the face-off. On the draw, ball is up. Almost collected cleanly there by Zoe Leitner, but can't quite find it. Still can't find it. Ball is knocked up. Taken now by Biko McNeil. McNeil now looking for an opportunity. Takes it herself down the left. Pauses now to Grace Masella. Grace to Shea Murphy. Murphy looks around, back to Grace Masella. Masella to, I don't quite know who that is, but it's over the head of Brooke Becker there. That would be Ellie Hughes, number 26. Leitner to Helen Clothier. To Murphy. Shea Murphy passes it off to Masella. Masella already's got a goal in the game. Now to Hughes. Hughes to Becker. Becker to Leitner. Leitner to Helen Clothier. Helen Clothier passes it back around. Becker. Brooke Becker drops it. Now to Masella. Masella passes it off to Helen Clothier. Clothier now senior passing it off to Zoe Leitner. Leitner to Murphy. Murphy to Hughes. Hughes to McNeil. Almost intercepted, but at least disrupted by Ranney, who, McNeil now fakes left, beats her defender, charges in with a bit of speed, but clearly not quite enough as she gets stopped. Back to Hughes. Hughes to Murphy. Murphy to Leitner. Leitner back to Murphy. Murphy to Hughes. Hughes down the right, just out of reach of Helen Clothier. Clothier trying to collect in the back of the end zone. Manages to find it. Left, right, beats her defender. Pass off to Biko McNeil is errant. Manages to recollect, however, before it rolls into midfield. Hughes, Murphy. Down the right to Leitner. Errant pass, still being fumbled after. No one can quite grab it. Ranney eventually does, but 10 seconds left-ish. There's not much that they can do here. You get a perfect view of the scoreboard thanks to their camera angle. As Ranney is at 3, 2, 1, and there's the buzzer for the third period. Very one-sided, as they all have been. 3 goals for MKA, none for Ranney, and we'll see you at the start of the fourth. And welcome back to this fourth quarter of action here from Van Brunt Field, which is still rainy and getting rainier, where your MKA Cougars are up 14-1 against the Ranney Panthers. Grace Fitzgerald now collecting for MKA. I think Grace gets to play midfield here, where she's usually a defender, so exciting opportunity for her. Getting on the score sheet. Gets an open path to net. Quick pass to Zoe Leitner. Can't quite get it off. Fitzgerald, Grace trying to get it back for MKA, but can't. Ranney will take possession here. You can see the rain falling now, and I really hope I don't have to walk home in this. That would be very unfortunate. Luckily, the MKA TV tower looks to be at least a bit of a safe haven, although it does appear it's also kind of flooding. So, let's hope this lasts. As Ranney begin their siege of MKA. Ranney passing it around. Waiting here, number 4 driving in. Low shot, bouncer off the mark. That is not Ella Freeman. She was pulled after allowing the lone. She was pulled long after allowing the goal, the lone Ranney goal. That was in the first. This is now the fourth. She was pulled at the end of the third here. Make room for Bianca Scalzo, the freshman goalie. Ranney, quick shot, goal! Ranney finally get one back. Stop the bleeding a bit, making it 14-2. They finally got one off. I mean, yes, it was in kind of garbage time against the second choice goalie, but they got one off. A goal is a goal. And on this cold, rainy Van Brunt day, the Cougars have scored 14 of them. As the clock will continue running, which means we'll actually be done. And the rain will continue to fall. And I'm going to have to find my way home. And unfortunately, ball is up off the face-off. Fitzgerald trying to catch it. Can't. The Beginn's getting... also getting an opportunity, I guess, to play more than defense as the Ranney now take it up the field here. And I am not having the greatest of times this rain. Bianca Scalzo making a save there. Scalzo looking for a pass. Hopefully the mic doesn't sound like garbage covered in the rain. Helen Clothier taking it now, passing it off to Scalzo. The goalie looking around, trying to find someone. Quick pass off to, don't have my roster out because otherwise my phone would get wet, but now taken by Grace Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald now driving up the right. Good spin there by the junior. Fitzgerald streaking across the middle. Hold on. Hold on. There's something going on. Number 4 is being sent off, I suppose. Couldn't tell you what happened there. Number 4 is now off. Fitzgerald takes it again, now passes Ella. Stella's already got a goal in the game. Will she try to spread the love or take another for herself? Quick pass off just over the head of Brooke Becker. Collected now by Zoe Leitner. Leitner looking to get something off. Drops the ball. Ranney player and Brooke Becker and Zoe Leitner sweeping at it and pass off to Becker. Becker here to Julia Flacco. Flacco in just over the head of Ellie Hughes as MKA, I believe, will retain possession here. Debbie Giddens taking it. Now taken by Ranney after that out-of-bounds experience. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Ranney now being forced deeper into their own zone. Ranney finally getting an offensive break. About 7 minutes left to go in this game, and looks like a bunch of starters have been taken out, or at least the familiar names that I don't have to double check my roster for. Ranney's still driving up the middle, dropped there off of a Debigan's strip. Another Debigan strip, that one, another whistle blown, and possession will not change. Ranney now still running it up. Collision there with MKA, and that's going to be MKA possession here. Now taken MKA. Dropped ball there from, I believe that is Julia Flacco. Ranney will come back with it. However, they have a lot of ground to make up in about half a quarter. So, try how long this is going to be. Ranney now running around the net of MKA. Passing it off there, number 28 faces off against Hannah Blackburn. Ranney being forced out. He begins putting a bit too much contact on the Ranney player there for the ref's liking. So Ranney reset once again. Low pass there by Ranney goes awry, and I believe that, yes, and Olivia Davis. Davis passing it up to Grace Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald through the center. Through the center, charging around. Deflection off of Zoe Leitner off the attempted pass and taken back by Ranney. 5 minutes remain in this game. Something's definitely going on the field there. There's some laughing from the MKA players. Guess there was a bit of a miscommunication as Ranney now running it up. Driving in, shot, good save there by Bianca Scalzo, and that's going to be whistled out. About 4 minutes 30 left to go here as Bianca Scalzo will get a penalty shot to save. Thank you, sir. In goes Ranney, and out stays the ball. Excellent save there by Bianca Scalzo. Takes it now, passing it quickly off to player, gives it back now with Hogan Clothier. Clothier passing, taking it herself here, running it up. Down the left, passing it off to Olivia Davis. Davis, long balls into the center to Hannah Blackburn. Blackburn here. Passing it off to Grace Masella. Masella. Kiara Brannigan. Brannigan ranging off to the right. Passing it off to Biko McNeil now behind the net. McNeil ranging around behind. Pass it off to Masella, still behind the net. Masella right in front, just out of reach of Brooke Becker, but now by Masella. Passing quick off to Zoe Leitner, and that's going to be whistled down. I believe it's going to be a penalty shot here for Zoe. Thank you, sir. Zoe Leitner now lining up for the penalty shot. Leitner looking to make it 15. You wait with bated breath. Leitner, whistle is off. Low bouncing shot. Is that in? I believe it is. MKA scores. Zoe Leitner gets one. And that's going to make it 15-2 in a bit of garbage time, I will admit, but a goal is a goal. About 2 minutes 30 left to go here. 15-2 MKA now in what can only be described as a blowout and a half. McNeil now taking the face-off to start off these final 2 minutes. Ball is up, taken by McNeil herself. Good catch there as MKA looking to keep a bit of, I can't even say pressure, just get some more names on the score sheet as pass. Ellie Hughes is in. Hughes in a dangerous spot. Shot right into the goalie's stick there, unfortunately, as Ellie Hughes will not get one at that moment. Taken now by Ranney. Ranney kind of just waiting it out here, playing out of their own defensive zone. Not sure what's really going on, but there's about minute 20, and this game looks over and out. As MKA get it back, passed off to Brooke Becker. Becker here, charging in by Masella. There's Masella working out from behind the net here. Passed off to Ellie Hughes, gets another chance. Low shot through the legs. Goal, MKA! Another name on the score sheet. Ellie Hughes scores one to make it 16-2. The goals just keep coming from everywhere around. Anyone and everyone can get one at this point. Hell, I could probably get one from up here. 16-2 now, and again, not sure which is a larger downpour, the rain we're experiencing or the amount of goals MKA is scoring. Well done, Ellie Hughes. Off of that, Mika McNeil taking what's probably going to be the final face-off of this game, unless there's another goal. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doesn't matter who has possession. MKA win. All the backups are in. All the starters come running from the bench, and that was just one-sided from the very beginning. MKA built up a lead and never looked back. Final score of 16-2. There's like 12 different names in the score sheet right now. And again, final score, MKA 16, Ranney 2. MKA move on to the semifinals, I think. Either way, this was the quarters, so yes, semis. And thank you all for watching. My name is Ian Tratner. Joining me today has been
Julian Matthew.
And this has been MKA TV, your voice of the Cougars. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.